Phantom from 10,000 Leagues. Yeah, 10,000 Leagues my arse. Watching the film, however, you'll notice they struggle with one. Really? Cheap Monster Films 101. Hug people and they die. Hang on, is he pissing on that guy's corpse? You see, this is the kind of level I have to work with some films. I mean, this is meant to be an hour and 20 minutes, and the monster screen time is pretty fleeting. You know, actually fleeting is an overstatement. You hardly see the fucker. I thought this was meant to be a monster movie. It's only on screen for about 67 seconds in the entire film. Whatever. Anyway, I suppose I'd better talk about the plot. So, in this epic of a tale, the hero is called Ted. So, say hello to Ted. He's a scientist, and he also seems to have the genetic ability to be the only person in the story who seems to know what the hell is actually going on. Okay, so the title of hero might be a bit generous, since nobody in this film actually seems to do much of anything. That's a rather trusting government agent.
You planning to do a little diving, Mr. Thomas? This late at night?
I'm an oceanographer. The ocean's my business, day or night.
Anything particularly interesting around here? You keep out of this. You better not do any diving around here for a while. I want you to forget that you're even here tonight, understand?
Looks like the middle of the day to me, mate. Now, all I managed to gather from the film is that there's a professor at the local Pacific College of Oceanography who's working on something or other, and yeah, it's not really explained. Basically, the professor, the secretary, and the professor's assistant are all suspicious of each other.
Point 70-18.
Keeping right up with the professor, aren't you, George?
It's some kind of atom power source under the sea, and it's going to be sold to another country.
You've got to help me get in there.
Somebody randomly goes for a dive. Here we see Ted is talking to Lois, the professor's daughter. Now, she serves no purpose in this movie whatsoever, other than just for the director to contrivedly put this scene in.
Well, at least you might have knocked.
Well, I did.
I've seen this scene before in Fiend Without a Face, with Major Jeff and Miss Griselle.
Miss Griselle? Miss Griselle, Great.
I swear, can't people come up with new ideas? Well, at least the bad guy doesn't have a tash. Now, people talk quite a lot in this film, so do bear that in mind if you'd like action and stuff to happen. Some people die from the papier-mâché monster. What a shit shot. The accuracy of that was just abysmal. Ted and the government agent Bill team up and go on the hunt at dawn. The shite monster appears and they run away. Yeah, they're underwater, but you know what I mean. Anyway, she dies, and then some ship that's unconnected to the plot just randomly blows up for no reason. What is going on? The Professor goes alone to destroy the beast, but he gets caught in the grasp of the Phantom's hug of death. And then they blow up, and it's the end. And that's why I watched it, because I knew it would be bad. It's a bit too long and boring, it drags on for ages, and the monster just looks like arse and doesn't get any screen time. And yet the film has this hilariously awful quality about it, kind of like White Zombie and Atom Age Vampire, only slightly crapper. And being a bit below those two films gives this one a rating of 3 out of 10. Indestructable Man. And no, before you start, it is not Captain Scarlet. It's actually about a guy who pulled a bank job with the help from 3 others, and he's received the death sentence while the other 3 guys, a slimy lawyer and 2 other goons, have actually got off scot-free. So he swears revenge from beyond the grave.
I'm gonna kill you. All 3 of you.
And so he does, because his body is taken from the morgue to be experimented on, and he somehow comes back to life, and his cellular structure has changed, making him really strong and, you know, indestructible, because otherwise the title of the film would be completely redundant.
We see so much trouble we get to hate.
Now this guy has the hero part down. He's a good cop, he's a charmer, and he's got a gravelly narrator voice. We've got a winner here, everybody.
What made you join the department?
Now who's making with the questions?
No, honest, I'd like to know.
Well, it's really a very short story. When I got out of the Air Corps, I knocked around for a while. Well, I went to work for an oil company. One day, I went back to college on the GI Bill. Just before graduation, I noticed all about the police department exams. Seemed a pretty good thing to do with your life, so I took the exams, passed, then went on from there.
Yeah. Now I know why this guy is indestructible, because every cop in the state is a piss-poor shot. Yeah, they fire in the general direction, but it didn't hit him, it missed him, look!
Meanwhile, the butcher headed for Squeamy's hotel. He didn't seem to be in any particular hurry. Actually, he seemed like any normal person, on his way to work or on his way home.
Hold on, this guy had his face all over the papers and everyone knows he was on death row. So how is it he just randomly walks down the street and no one bats an eye? Later he's standing on a fire escape, but hang on, when he came back to life the doc said his cells had multiplied by the thousands. Wouldn't that also increase his mass, making him heavier? Surely his fat ass would bring that entire fire escape structure off the wall. Oh, that's gotta hurt. And then he dies and... oh look, that guy dies as well. You know, it's good that he doesn't speak. That makes him a hell of a lot creepier. You know, this film is actually quite decent. Drama, a semi-dead indestructible killer, occasional funny or cheesy dialogue. I mean, is there another film out there that has all of these things?
Help! Help me, I'm drowning! You can't drown, you fool! You're immortal!
There can be only one.
Yeah, don't worry, I'll get round to those films soon enough. The money was hidden in the sewers, so the police gather together and they search through the sewers for Butcher, that's the bad guy's name by the way, and the money. Evidently rocket launchers don't stop him at pretty much point-blank range. Look, they set the cavern on fire and it did sod all. They chase him some more and he runs into an electric power plant, climbs a tower, he then gets electrocuted, and then everything blows up. Why does everything always have to blow up at the end?
It is all over.
I suppose you'll be assigned to another case. I'll have to give up hamburgers in the front seat of the car for steaks in a restaurant.
No. I've thought about that. In fact, I decided to do something about it. I started by talking the captain into a short holiday. And just about an hour ago, I got you fired.
What? What did you do that for?
I figured that being my wife would take up all of your time.
You cheesy sod. Amazing. 5 out of 10.